welcome to ANIMAPHIX streaming experience. We are today with a friend that is connected with us from China. Is Zhao Yi. Is a good friend. I was in China with him. He invited me to teach for a week in the university. Is teaching as well in Sichuan in Chengdu, a small town of 14 million inhabitants. And so, Zhao, you want to tell us how you met animation? Because you started in China, then you came to Europe. So a little bit your story in relation with the animation world, why you choose animation, and how was the meeting with?
Okay. To start first, it's really nice to see you again, Andrea. It was a really nice experience. The time I spent together with you in Chengdu, and as well as our students and the university. And before that, we have had contact since ANIMAPHIX. That was for my animation film Lus. Lus is made in Netherlands with the support from Dutch Film Fund. And I did my animation study actually in Netherlands, in St. Just Academy for Fine Art and Design. And there I made my graduation animation film, which is called On the Water. It had received some attention, and with that, I have had the opportunity to apply for the Dutch Film Fund. And with that, I was able to make my second animation short, which is called Lus. And after Lus, the last 3 years, most of the time I spend in China, doing teaching, at the same time trying to compose an idea for my next animation film. I have always really loved animation film, but as well as many other things like a fiction or just regular film or drawing and painting. By the end, I have chosen animation because I figure this is the most composite idea. That is the meeting point of all the things that I like most. And for me, animation is I think for me the most suitable way for me to narrate, to tell a story.
Yeah, you are a good narrator, because I mean I saw your first film, but especially in Lus, that I have to say,
thank you.
It's not a short film because it's quite long, a short film, but it's very, very, very beautiful. You want to tell us a little bit which technique you are using, if it is all in computer, and which kind of tools you are using, and which is the effect you want to give to the film?
Yes, for me, I really want to have a personal style to start with. So I really want to have a look which is different from others. And I think that is the main reason I have chosen After Effects, because with that I have developed a rather peculiar method for character animation. For me, my animation, I think, will be for the future too, has focused on the characters, on human interactions. And that's why the character animation is crucial for me for animation making. And with After Effects, I build up compositions for all the body parts, and then band them together. as a skeleton. And with this way, I can do a lot of very subtle body movements as well as facial feature expressions. With that, I can also put a lot of textures and minor details into the characters. And that's the technique I developed and used for this.
And what about what is? I'm very happy that you said that you are thinking about a new film, because when we met 2 years ago, I think you were a little bit, you didn't know already if you were doing a new film or not. So that's great news that
Yes.
we will have. So how is the situation to make a film in China now compared to what you did during school time in Holland? And during your stay in Holland to make Lus.
I think with time people change, so is with me too, and for me all my inspirations for my animation film comes from my personal life. I really base all my creation on my personal experiences. And for past 4 years, I have been in a procedure of figuring out what is really happening to me and what is changing with me. And with the change of environment, that is, I come back to China again after many years staying in Netherlands. What does this really mean to me? And I have been very eager to start a new animation project, to start to making animation again. But first, I have to answer this question first. So what does it mean for me to again come back to China after staying in Europe? And gradually, I have come to I have to come to a grasp. To simplify it, I think I can name it as a counter culture shock.
Oh.
I will explain it. That is, when I first came to Netherlands in my early 20s, I experienced a culture shock. And after that, in my early 40s, I come back to China, and again I realized I experienced another culture shock, and I just recovered from it. And by the secondary culture shock, it shed more light onto who I really am, and what is China actually at this moment, and what is Europe, what is Netherlands actually at this Europe. And that is what is now most important, the center of my daily experience actually. And that's what I want to make into my next animation project.
So it seems that your preoccupation of what is the center of your is like the same thing of the world, because the world are thinking now is not Europe the center of the world, maybe it's China the center of the world now. So you are in the center of the world, you see. And so I can imagine. I mean, I can't imagine because I didn't have this kind of shock in my life. Now I'm in Germany, but from Germany to Italy, the difference is not so big that you can feel another sort of other life. But I can understand you, because when I was only 1 week in China, but I can imagine that, as well as you know already before. But I think that the last 20 years, China changed a lot. At least in the town are like 10 times bigger than before. So you really are in a completely other space in some way. So I'm very curious about what it will be this film. It will be very interesting. You started. Which will be the timing of the film? I mean, you want to finish in the next year, so you are already started to figure out something about the timing.
I'm right now, at this moment, I'm on the very early stage. I'm still writing the script.
Okay.
But last 3 years has been a kind of long preparation for me. On one hand, I have kept my contact with Europe. You are one of them, a very important one. On the other hand, I really get to know the practitioners in the animation industry, in the artistic animation in China. And I hope I can have an opportunity to make it into a longer narration. As you have said, my previous short animation is already a long short. Because I wish to say more. I wish to give a really full, in-depth narration. That is one of my dreams. So at this moment, I'm really thinking write a script for a long animation film. It will be a very big challenge. I think it will be very difficult for me, but
Yeah.
but I feel the urge, and I just go ahead and do it.
So maybe it should be very interesting for our people in Europe to know how it works to produce a film in China. I mean, the state, there are some funds that you can have like in Europe. There are some different way, like I would say maybe long feature film is long animation is maybe easier because in any case there are a possible exploitation of the film in the cinema more than short film, so you can have more money from the public. I mean from the state, because I think everything is under the state in China. Or you want, I don't know, if you know already what it will be this preparation things about production, and you can tell us how it works in China, should be very interesting.
I have had talk with some funds. There is also a newly established so-called incubation base for animation projects, but they are all, none of them are stately based.
Wow.
In China, the situation is very different from Europe. We do not have a state-based artistic funding for animation. It doesn't exist. But just as you have said, that is a really important point. A long animation film means there is a market for it, because as in China, as well as in most other countries, short animation does not really have a market. And so there are private producers and production houses. They do have more artistic ambition than just box office revenues. And I think there are possibilities. I have been, but now it's already at a very early stage.
Well, yeah, it's too early now to have ideas.
Yes.
I don't want you to improvise something that maybe you don't find. I don't want to tell you something that. Yeah, this is very, very, very good. Sometimes I'm thinking about the day we were passing, eating everywhere in bicycle was a fantastic day for me. And And I would like to repeat it, but it's not easy. But in any case, at least once it happened, and this is also great. And thank to you for the invitation and everything. So I would say you are now teaching as it was 2 years ago. So you are employed in university in Sichuan and you have courses, or you are doing research as it was 2 years ago. You are doing more research about animation, or you are teaching in front of students.
Yeah, I have been doing both.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm trying to combine all of them together. So in a way that all parts will be beneficial to each other and serve a universal goal for me. I think my ultimate goal is still making animation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Ciao, everybody. And we stop now. Ciao, China.
Okay.